Right now, as you're watching this video, you're moving. Not walking, not driving. Spinning at over 1,600 kilometers per hour. You don't feel it, you never have. But what if you just stopped? Not slowed down, not gradually, just stopped right now. What would happen to you, to the oceans, to life itself? The answer is far more terrifying than you think. The moment Earth stops spinning, everything on the surface would still be moving at the same speed it always was. That's the law of inertia. Objects in motion stay in motion. So you, your house, your car, your entire city would be launched sideways at 1,600 kilometers per hour. That's faster than a bullet. Buildings wouldn't fall, they'd fly. Cars wouldn't skid, they'd vanish into the horizon. And the oceans, trillions of tons of water still moving at full speed, would surge across entire continents in mega tsunamis. Hundreds of meters tall, the ground itself would crack open. Earthquakes measuring 12 or 13 on the Richter scale. Stronger than anything ever recorded in human history. And the wind. The atmosphere would keep spinning even after the ground stopped. That means winds of 1,600 kilometers per hour would sweep across the entire planet. Not a hurricane, not a tornado, a global wall of air that would flatten everything in its path. In the first 24 hours alone, almost every human being on Earth would be gone. For the survivors, if there are any, the world they wake up to would be unrecognizable. Right now, Earth completes one full rotation every 24 hours. That's why we have day and night. But without that rotation, one side of Earth would face the sun forever. The other side would face darkness forever. One day would last an entire year. On the sunlit side, temperatures would climb past 80 degrees Celsius. The soil would crack, rivers would dry up. The air itself would feel like an oven. On the dark side, temperatures would plunge to minus 100 degrees Celsius and beyond. Snow wouldn't fall, it would freeze midair. Oceans would turn to solid ice miles deep. The only livable zone. A thin strip of land between light and darkness. Scientists call it the Terminator line. A narrow band of permanent twilight. The last place on Earth where temperature might support life. But even that would be constantly battered by supersonic winds rushing from the hot side to the cold. Here's something most people don't know. Earth isn't a perfect sphere, it actually bulges at the equator by about 43 kilometers. Because the spin pushes mass outward. The moment that spin stops, gravity pulls all that extra mass back into shape. And the oceans follow. All that water, billions of cubic kilometers of it, would slowly drain away from the equator and flood toward the North and South poles. Over thousands of years, two giant polar oceans would form. Meanwhile, a massive new supercontinent would rise from the now dry ocean floor at the equator. Africa, South America, Asia. They wouldn't just be connected. They'd be sitting in the middle of a vast, empty desert basin, where the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans once were. The map of Earth you grew up with. Gone, completely redrawn. But here, where it gets truly catastrophic. Deep inside Earth, there's a liquid iron core that spins along with the planet. That spinning is what generates Earth's magnetic field. The invisible shield that protects every living thing from deadly solar radiation. No spin, no magnetic field. And without that shield, the sun would start tearing our atmosphere apart. Charged particles from solar winds would strip away the ozone layer first, then the air itself would slowly bleed into space. Molecule by molecule. Just like what happened to Mars billions of years ago, Mars used to have an atmosphere. It used to have liquid water. It may have even had life. But its core cooled, its magnetic field collapsed. And the sun ate its sky. Without Earth's spin, that's our future. Not in days, not in years. But over thousands to millions of years. Earth would become a dead, barren rock. Baking in radiation. Drifting silently through space. So is it completely over for life on Earth? Maybe not entirely. Deep beneath the ocean floor, there are hydrothermal vents. Cracks in the Earth's crust where superheated water, rich in chemicals, pours out into the deep sea. Creatures living there don't need sunlight. They don't need the magnetic field. They feed off chemical energy from the Earth itself. These organisms, some of the toughest life forms ever discovered, might survive long after the surface is dead. And deep underground, extremophile bacteria, microscopic life that lives inside solid rock miles below the surface, could potentially survive for millions of years. As for humans, any survivors would need to live underground, near the Terminator line, growing food with artificial light, sealed off from radiation, fighting for every resource. It wouldn't be living. It would be surviving. Here's the thing though. Earth's spin is slowing down. Every single year our planet's rotation slows by about 1.4 milliseconds. A tiny, almost undetectable amount. At that rate Earth won't stop spinning for another several billion years. So you're safe for now. But somewhere out there in the universe, there are planets that have stopped spinning. Tidally locked worlds forever facing their star. One side burning, one side frozen. Caught in an eternal standstill. And every time you feel the sun rise and set, every time you watch day turn to night, remember that's not just beautiful. That rotation, that spin, is the reason you're alive. If you found this video mind-blowing, hit that like button and subscribe.